Welcome friends. In our previous 5 tutorials from tutorial 1 to tutorial 5, we have gone through the introduction concepts of the operating system. Now from today onwards, let's deal with the operating system structures. So in the today's concept, we'll try to cover the operating system services, and at the same time we'll try to learn the user operating system interface or something like user interface. So we'll try to cover these two topics in today's session. Friends, we know that operating system provides an environment within which programs are executed. So we already understood that statement, that operating system is actually giving an environment for the user to run his programs, or operating system is acting like a government in which it creates an environment where users can execute their programs comfortably and efficiently. And we have already gone through that operating system is also monitoring everything inside the computer. So the name monitor has also been given for the operating system, since it is keep on monitoring everything which is going inside the computer. And internally, operating systems vary greatly in their makeup because they have been organized with different lines. And we have to remember that even though operating system, the software or the overall concept looks very simple, but internally operating systems have very diversified structures. Operating systems have a diversified structures because they have to do different jobs, or because the operating system has to do, or operating system has to organize various kinds of activities. That's why the structure of operating system has been diversified with different systems. The design of a new operating system is a major task. We have to remember this statement, students or friends, that even though the concepts of operating system looks very simple and understandable, but when coming to design the operating system, if as a layman, if we want to develop an operating system like Unix or Linux or the Microsoft Windows or any kind of operating system, it's not an easy task, because designing the operating system and developing the operating system needs huge amount of human power and the mind power. So it is not built by a single person. And we have to remember again the great Ken Thompson. He has designed the Unix operating system and he has developed the operating system as a single person, of course with the help of our Sir Dennis Ritchie. He has designed the Unix operating system, but as a single person or a single brain cannot develop a bigger or a new operating system which can hold huge amount of tasks. And it is very important that the goals of this system be well defined before the design begins, because we know that operating system, what exactly it does, everyone knows. So to accomplish these goals, to make operating system the complete one, the design should be holistic, and these goals form the basis for the choices among various algorithms and strategies. That means if you are going to develop an operating system, or if you're going to design an operating system, then that the design should consist various algorithms and various strategies, correct or not? Because if that operating system design does not contain algorithms and strategies, that will not be a complete system. And operating system can be viewed in different dimensions. It's very important. This statement is very important. Operating system can be viewed in different dimensions, or you can see the operating system at various levels or at various points. Normally in English we call it as the vantage point, VANTAGE. Or vantage means it is a place where you can have a good view or a clear view. So you can see the operating system in different dimensions. That means with respect to process management, how operating system is working. With respect to memory management, how operating system is working. With respect to security, how OS is responding. So there is a kind of dimension you can visualize the operating system. Now let us try to learn the operating system services. Actually, this concept has been covered in our previous tutorial, but let us try to understand the same concept in a detailed manner or in a formal manner. So let us recall that operating system is giving or providing an environment for executing our programs, right? So coming to the services of the operating system, what is the first service it is going to provide? The first service is the user interface. So the basic service providing by the operating system is the user interface. That means whatever the command prompt or whatever the window screen you are seeing or whatever the user interface dialog box you are visualizing on your computer, everything is providing by the operating system. If OS or if operating system is not going to provide the user interface, whether it is command prompt or whether it is any window screen, then user cannot give any kind of input, because user cannot directly provide the input. So user interface is the first service providing by the operating system. So every operating system comes with the user interface. So I'm not speaking about a typical computer system. Whether it is a mobile phone, you have a touch screen. That means even by touching something, your phone is responding. Even for the air condition unit, you have some operating system and you have some kind of control panel where you can click that button to regulate the temperature. Or you can also work with the microwave oven. It is also having operating system and you are having some kind of controls to regulate various kinds of settings. So that is called the user interface. The user interface might be in the form of a control panel, or it might be in the form of a touch screen, or might be in the form of a command prompt. Everything is a part of user interface, right? So this is the first service. So coming to the second service provided by the operating system is the program execution. So the basic the basic idea of the OS is what exactly it is doing. It is trying to provide an environment to execute your programs. Correct, right? So what is the second service providing by the operating system? Yes, whatever the job given by the user, that job should be executed. Of course, actually the execution of job has been done by the CPU, but operating system takes the supervision or monitors whether the job has been executed properly or not. If the job has not been executed properly, then operating system will interact with the user, giving some kind of error messages that so and so job is not being properly executed. Whether it is any task, copying a file or running a C program or working with the word processor or working with any internet kind of the video playing, anything, whatever the job given by the user will be done by the supervision of the operating system. And during such process, during such task, if any abnormality encounters, operating system immediately responds back to the user providing the error. So this is the second service. Coming to the third service, operating system also deals with the input output operations. What does it mean? See, when a computer is processing something, or when any computation is going on, in order to provide some data for that operation, or in order to provide some data, or in order to get back some data, okay, so in giving the data is called the input, or taking back the data is called the output. Okay, so providing the data or taking back the data deals with the input output operation, right? So when any job is going on, or else for the computer, if it needs any input output, then operating system takes the responsibility as a service that it is going to supervise all the input output devices. What are the input output devices associated with our computer? Yes, the keyboard is an input device, the mouse is an input device, whereas the monitor and the printer are the output devices. Even your hard disk, external hard disk, or your pen drive can be acting as an input device as well as output device. So data or any kind of information can be fetched from the pen drive. At the same time, data can be reverted back to the pen drive. So those devices can also be called as both input output devices, right? So coming back to the service, the next kind, the kind of service is called the IO operations, where operating system is going to supervise all the IO operations. IO operations are being done associated with the input output devices, right? So what is the next service providing by the operating system? The fourth service, that is the file system manipulation. The file system manipulation, right? So friends, we know that our computer or our phone or any of our electronic gadget can hold some data. That data might be in the form of a file, that data might be in the form of a folder, or that might be in the form of some other kind of information. Normally, if the data is something like, it is looking like a file, we call it as a file or a similar kind of data, and if the data has some sort of instructions, call it as the program. So we have two kinds of files. One is the data file, second one is the program file, right? And apart from that, we can also have different kinds of other files, like general purpose files, like the video files, the audio files, and the image files, and the word processor files, your PowerPoint presentation files, like that. So in the computer, we have different kinds of files. Basically, files are categorized into two kinds. The first one is the data file or the information file. Second kind is the program file, which contains some programs like C program or Java program. And the data file, again, it might be of various types, like it might be a PowerPoint file, or it might be a Word document file, or it might be any other kind like a video, audio, and image, etc. So if you are trying to manipulate, such kind of files, then operating system takes the responsibility of manipulating those files and directories, and it gives various permissions to the users in order to access these files. For example, if I am the user, I am the owner for a particular file, then I am making my friend as an associate owner to access a particular file. Then operating system will record that information, and whenever a particular file is also accessed by my friend, it will provide the data. So operating system also takes the responsibility to include the permissions or to whether to allow or deny the access to the files based upon the ownership. So this service is called the file system manipulation. The next service is the communication. So why do you need communication? So friends, let us recall that operating system is providing an environment which can execute user programs. So here user programs are keep on being executed, right? At the same time, there is a chance that these programs or processes can exchange some kind of information, correct? So these programs can exchange some kind of information. So exchanging information is called communication. So operating system takes the role of communicating between different processes. Okay, so operating system takes the role of communicating between different processes which are going inside the system, and this communication might be through a shared memory or through some kind of message passing, right? So this communication might be done through a shared memory or a common memory, or it can be done through message passing. So this service will be monitored by the operating system. That means the communication is a service supervised by the operating system. And the next kind of service is the error detection. So this is a special service provided by the operating system. What does it mean? For example, if you are trying to copy any file in the computer, assume that the file is perfectly okay, but there is a hardware issue with your hard disk. That means assume that there are some sectors or tracks which are failed in the hardware, and whatever the file you're copying in the computer, probably it is not being copied perfectly. Then operating system takes the responsibility of which tracks are being failed. Okay, since these tracks are failed, we should not keep our file over there. Rather, we have to find the best place for that. So this is a kind of finding the errors or finding the good places and bad places at the same time. Whenever you have copied a file or whenever you have stored a file, and while retrieving that file, right, while retrieving that file back, operating system also checks for its genuineness, whether the file has been changed or the file has been altered or whether the file has been corrupted. Operating system checks for that, and this checking is called the error detection. So error detection confirms the genuineness of any data or any information. See, for example, I have some file, and during some process, if the file has been changed, but my intention is that file should not be changed, then operating system confirms whether the file has been changed using or through the malicious code like virus or worm programs. If it has been changed, operating system tries to restore the original file. Okay, if it is not restoring the file, then it informs the same to the user that your file has been corrupted or damaged due to some kind of virus program. Please run the antivirus program. So this is the service provided by the OS, that is called the error detection. And sometimes OS also performs the service called the error correction. Depends upon its performance. The next service is the resource allocation. Friends, let us recall that in the computer we have several kind of resources. The first kind of resource is the CPU or the CPU utilization. Any job which enters into the computer wants the CPU for execution, correct or not? And apart from CPU, the memory registers, the memory segments, or the data from the input output devices or any other, all these comes under the resources. And the main task in the computer is to allocate these resources to different processes, because a computer or any computing unit never works with a single job. It always works with several kind of processes running in the foreground or running in the background, right? All these jobs need the CPU or needs other kind of resources. So this is the biggest task done by the operating system in allocating or sharing the resources to different processes in the computing system. So resource allocation is one of the major tasks, or it is a competitive task which has to be done properly by the operating system in order to execute smoothly of all the jobs or resources of all the jobs or processes running inside a computer. The next service is the accounting. So accounting means recording everything. Operating system tries to record as a background job. That means tries to record whatever the activity is going on in the computer. It is making a simple activity log based record, such that yes, how many users are there, how many jobs are there, how many processes are there, which process has been allocated to which user, and what are the resources available, and at present what exactly the system is going on. Everything has been recorded by the operating system, and this kind of recording is called accounting. Accounting is a responsible activity by the operating system to the user. Whenever user wants to inspect the computer, operating system can provide so and so information. Sir, these are the users existing in the computer, and these are the various files available, and these kind of processes are being going on during so and so during the period. So this kind of information is called the accounting. And the next service or the last service is the protection and security. So friends, don't be confused with two words, protection and security. So protection and security, even though it is the last service, but it is not the least service, because protection and service are very important service. Profit protection and security are both the important services provided by the operating system in order to create a secure environment for your resources, at the same time for your processes. If the environment is not a secured one or it's not a protected one, then your data can be lost, or your data can be misused, or your data can be damaged at any instance. So operating system takes this service as very important challenge, and it always tries to keep the environment clean and protected. Now let's recall the services provided by the operating system. The first service is the user interface. Okay, user interface might be a command line or a graphics or graphical user interface. And the second service is the program execution. So OS is creating an environment for program execution. And the third service is the IO operations. So whatever the input output operations is going on, that will be supervised by the operating system. And the next service is the file system manipulation. So whenever user tries to manipulate any kind of file, OS takes the responsibility to manipulate that. And the next service is the communication. That means the exchange of information between various processes, that will be done either with the help of a shared memory or through a message passing. And the next service is the error detection. That means whenever OS encounters any kind of errors or whenever OS find anything abnormality, it immediately responds to the user for the same. And the next service is the resource allocation, in which we understood that CPU is the main resource within the computer, and apart from that we have the memory segments, and we have other kind of the devices, the peripheral devices, etc. All this comes under the resource category, and allocation of those resources will be perfectly supervised by the operating system. And the next service is the accounting, where operating system records everything or keeps track of everything which is going on inside the system. And the next service is the protection and security, where this service creates a protected environment and it is trying to make our files secure. So these are the things about the operating system services, a little bit detailed. Okay, let's move ahead in understanding the user interface which is provided by a typical operating system. So friends, let us recall that user interface is either a command based or a graphical based. If you have worked with the MS-DOS, or if you have worked with the earlier kind of operating systems like MS-DOS and Unix operating system, you have the interface in the form of a command line or a command interpreter. Normally, that command interpreter is called a shell, SHELLS, shell. And in order to work at the shell, you need to learn certain kind of instructions working with the shell. And for example, if you're working with the Unix and Linux based systems, then you can encounter different kinds of shells like the Bourne shell, the C shell, the Born Again shell, the Corn shell, etc. etc. So friends, don't be confused about these shells. Shell, actually it is a simple set of instructions or simple set of commands where it follows either the C language or any other kind of language, right? Where it tries to speak with the operating system. For example, if you want to move a file, then in the Unix operating system, you just try to give a command like mv space file name to particular location. So these are the kinds of shells, and every shell has its own grammar. But anyway, shell is something like set of instructions where it interacts with the operating system, right? And it tries to perform the user provided input or instructions. And if we try to work with the MS-DOS operating system, then we can remember certain command based instructions like the create for creating a file, the delete for deleting a file, for list for listing the list of files, for print, for copy, for execute, etc. These are the basic set of commands which are associated with the command interpreter or the shell to do the basic kind of operating system activity, something like copying a file, moving a file, opening a file, closing a file, deleting a file, etc. The basic job of this command interpreter is to fetch the input from the user and to provide the output to the user. So coming to the second kind of the user interface, that is called the graphical user interface, in which you can see a Windows based environment, and normally we call certain kind of user interface as a desktop. Desktop means it is a user interface like a graphical user interface in which you can see information in the form of the icons, right? So you can see the information in the form of icons or some kind of images or some kind of pointers. So using that you can access the data or you can directly access the job. So the graphical user interface is the second kind of interface. Okay, in that you can see a specialized interface called the desktop, in which you can see various images or icons on the screen, or at the same time you can also find various files and folders which are properly aligned or properly structured. So in the Windows operating system, which is an extension for the MS-DOS operating system, is a graphical system in which you can see the desktop. At the same time you can see the files and folders, and you can also see the desktop aligned with lot of icons. At the same time, the other operating systems like the Linux operating system, at the same time you can also the Mac operating system, the Macintosh operating system also have the GUI based user interface, in which you can see the same kind of desktop. At the same time you can also see various kinds of the files and folders which are properly structured. So that's all, friend. In the today's session we have gone through various operating system services, and we have also gone through the two different kinds of user interfaces. The first one is the command based, second one is the right. So second one is the graphical based, and in both kinds, both these user interfaces tries to take the data or input from the user and get back the output to the user, right? So that's all, friend. We'll get back to the next session soon. Bye.